Hi, it's time for segment 4. Just last week I received an email and in the subject line it said, when does small equal big? And I thought about that for a few moments and I thought, always. If we make small changes over time, that's going to make a big difference. So remember, when does small equal big? Always. Last segment I mentioned portion, frequency, and how is it prepared. And I want to take a few moments and talk about that. Portions. Portions are really important when we're thinking about what we're going to eat. But let's say that we choose to have something a little bit different, a little bit special. That may not be the best food choice for us, but we really love it and we want to have it. So that portion size is essential to be aware of. The National Institute of Health put together something called portion distortion. And what they wanted to show was what are the differences in our portion sizes from now to 20 years ago, comparing them. So for instance, a piece of cheesecake 20 years ago was about 260 calories. Today, the typical portion of cheesecake is going to be about 640 calories, a really big difference. Another example would be 20 years ago, a blueberry muffin had about 210 calories. And today, a typical muffin is about 500 calories. I want to show you an example of Kind bars. So these Kind bars were given to me as free samples, and I can tell you I've eaten both of them, both sizes. This Kind bar is about 200 calories, and this Kind bar is 100 calories. When I finished eating the smaller Kind bar, I thought to myself, I'm just as happy with that smaller portion. It was satisfying and I got to eat the whole thing. So we don't have to think we're going to miss something by having a smaller portion. Frequency. How often are we going to be eating something that may not be that best choice? If we don't do it very often, it probably won't derail our efforts. And then finally, how is it prepared? So let's say that fettuccine Alfredo is one of your favorite foods. Well, how can you make that differently? I've actually made cauliflower Alfredo sauce. My older daughter loves it. And just last week, I had a client tell me that she made that for her family with great success. So there isn't anything that we can't make a little healthier. Portion, frequency, and how is it prepared? So let's grab our checklist and check in with last week. Did you come across any area that you wanted to work on problem solving? Did you use anything from the toolbox? Take a moment and think about your last week. So today's handout will be the new food label and 4 different recipes for chicken that you can do in either parchment paper or foil. I hope you enjoy them. I would like to talk about some of the highlights of the new label and share with you some examples of portion distortion. The serving size on the new label is more aligned to what we typically consume. It also is brighter and in larger print, so it's easier, it pops, and you can look at what is the serving size. And the same is true for the calories. Easier to find, easier to navigate. But what I really love most about the new label law is the line that includes what amount of added sugar is in a product. So until now, there really wasn't an easy way to know how much added sugar was put into foods that already contained natural sugars, like milk, yogurt, and fruit. So now we know, when looking at that line, how much sugar has been added to our foods. So I hope over the next week you think about frequency, portions, and how is it prepared. And maybe you'll even try a queso dip made from winter squash. Continue on your journey, on your way, on your terms. I hope that you have a great week, continue to enjoy the ride, and contact me if you have any questions.